Today, I'll be talking about artificial intelligence in real estate and the effect it has in the real estate industry. A little bit about myself and the company. I have been involved in artificial intelligence and machine learning with Apartment Ocean for more than 5 years now. Platform for online real estate marketplaces, large brokerage firms and large property management firms to easily create and deploy chatbots on their websites, social media, and SMS channel. And why do we do that? We do that for them to automate customer support and also to make their lead generation more powerful and more user-friendly. So today I'll touch 4 points. We will start with real estate and technology. How is real estate as it adapts technological products, and a brief overview. Then we will go into a few ways how AI can be used in real estate and actually how it's currently being used. Then we will move to chatbot platform and wrap it up with the future of chatbots. So let's dig in. Real estate and tech. Whenever somebody mentions real estate, there's always they always think about the traditional, slow-moving, resistant to change industry, right? Pen and paper. They have one way of doing things. They have been doing it for years, and they don't want to change, right? The biggest tech product that they had is Excel, and that they manage the properties, they manage their tenants, everything there. Well, that has changed, and that has changed recently. Right now, property management firms, brokerage firms, actually, they heavily rely on tech products. As we can see here, a few examples. Let's say property management firms, whether they're small or big. Now they have property management systems like Yardi, Entrada, RealPage, systems that allow them to manage the listings, manage the tenants, get the maintenance requests, manage the leads, so everything is done on those systems. Brokerage firms, they have IDX websites that are connected to MLS databases or other data listing databases. They have marketing systems which they can push the listings directly to the online real estate marketplaces like Zillow, like Realtor, so immediately they can get leads. Then once they get those leads, they have CRM systems, right, where they can manage them, they can follow up, they can track which one closes, which one doesn't close, and actually everything is run on tech. So what I'm trying to say here is that real estate from that traditional old school industry right now has become highly tech industry. And for us, although those products are making real estate industry more efficient than it used to be, why is it very important for me and guys like you? Is those tech products are creating data. They're creating a lot of data. And now we can utilize that data to make sense of it. We can utilize that data to help them make better informed decisions. Let's think about it. They have online rent payment systems. So now they have a history of tenants A rent payment. We can, with AI, we can predict, we can have a probability, will tenant A be late next month? When will they pay the rent in 2 months? We can have that probability, right? For the screening, we know what kind of profiles of tenants will cause problems, will be great. We have lead systems. We know what kind of marketplaces, what kind of ad platforms can provide us leads, or property management firms leads that will convert into a tenant. And now what's even more interesting is that if a company uses multiple tech tools from leads where they advertise on marketplaces to the property management systems where they manage the tenants, now they have the probability where should they market, what kind of leads can they expect, and even before they get the lead, if that lead converts, what kind of tenant it will be. So I mean, that's the power of AI, and that's where we're going towards. I don't know, but it's very cool to me. So now I would like to go into 3 ways that AI is being utilized and how can we make the real estate experience more efficient. These are use cases. We have done it. We have results. So we are very familiar with it. We're talking about customized search. We're talking about customer support and lead generation. So let's dive in. Customized search. This is one of my favorite. How can we make search results better? Right? How can we make property results better? If we think about AI tools that are touching consumers or users every day, let's say the most consumer-facing AI products like Netflix, YouTube, Google, right? They're offering recommendations to customers. But to do that, they have to know the customer. They have tremendous info about those customers, let's say YouTube. They have the history of what kind of videos have you seen. Based on those videos, they can predict, okay, you might like this one, and they will recommend it to you. If you watch it, that's another data point for them, so they see, okay, they watched it from first second to the last one, okay, this worked, this algorithm is good. It's the same thing for Spotify. What kind of songs have you listened? We gotta recommend you those kind of songs. So let's go back to the apartment search. To make search better and more powerful, we have to know more about the user, or we have to know something about the user, because right now we don't. So as I'm talking with marketplaces, whether they're in real estate or other industries, they're always telling me, and actually thinking out loud, how can we go closer to transaction? They have the user base. How can we get closer to transaction? Because that's where the money is. Well, to get closer to transaction, you have to offer better results. So you can move to that next step and get actually that service or product sold. So now we're talking about, can we go from search to match? If we look at the traditional, let's say, data points that companies have on us when they're searching apartments, this is it. Where we want to move, how many bedrooms, what is the price range, and what else we have here. And I mean, advanced search, I believe that's, is it close to subway or not. So this is it. And then they give us results based on this. What do they know about me? Nothing. So if I want, let's say, not even put Manhattan, if I want to live in East Village, Soho, financial district, let's say 1-bedroom apartment, 2,500, and I want to move right now. Those are the data points. If somebody else has the same data points as I have, what is the probability that actually we're looking for the same apartment? Kind of slim to none, right? So we have to know the users. And now what we have done and how we track this is ask questions. Ask questions to users. It has to be in a user-friendly way. So we did it in a yes or no or multiple answer questions. So it's easy for the user to, after the filter, to just click, 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 and then we have the data points. Those data points we can relate to the neighborhood data points, which is available. Apartment information and neighborhood information is pretty much public. If it's not, you guys know how to get information. So what we do here is, if you have data points about neighborhood, right? Gas stations, parks, gyms, churches, schools, bars, restaurants, right? And then you ask questions. Let's say, do you drink coffee before work? Do you like to work out? Do you cook at home? Do you like going out? Like, those are, I know, generic questions. They're very broad. We like specific questions because that leads to better results. But even these data points are data points that we haven't had before. So now we get algorithm where we put ways, on data points about your lifestyle connected with the neighborhood info, and then we have the apartment information. And then we just match it. Here, this is our results. The premium, this is like the best match, and then we go to 9.6, 9.5, and so forth. So engine behind it runs AI, analyzes, structures the data, connects the points of the lifestyle, neighborhood, and apartments, and then gives us the result, right? And now what we have, it is customized search. It's more than just apartment-specific information. I have some information about the user, connect with the neighborhood, and we have the results. And this is the results of using customized search. Of course, it depends on data you have and what kind of questions you ask, and actually what kind of answers, yes, no, multiple choice. And what we see here, user engagement, which is time spent on property listings pages, went up almost 40%, 37%. Scheduled visits, 23. And the bottom line, the deals that have been closed increased 14%. That sounds good to me. Again, after the filter, our research and our experience shows 3 to 5 questions that's optimal. For that, if you ask 3 to 5 questions, you will get 92% response rate. Every other question that you ask drops like 7% or something like that with the question. So keep it short, has to be user-friendly. Don't let the user actually think, and don't let them write. Make it easy to get those data points. And go.
Just a quick question about your scheduled visits here. Is that the number of scheduled visits?
Oh, that's a percentage that it went up from a regular search.
Wouldn't that indicate a bad thing though? If I have to schedule more visits to find an apartment I like, isn't that bad?
No, because how it goes, first it's a lead becomes a schedule of visits, and then it's a closed deal. So every agent, every brokerage firm or property management firm has a process to the closed deal.
So this isn't based on the users, it's based on the brokerage firm. So the brokerage firm has that many more scheduled visits with that.
Yes.
Okay. What did you say the sweet spot was for how many questions you had?
Yeah, 3 to 5 questions. 3 to 5 questions, and I believe every other question, like 6, 7, 8, there's 7%, I believe, the drop in the response rate. Basically, just uses drop.
It's only for apartments or in terms of homes and mortgage?
Yes, the entire real estate. It's homes. Yeah, I use apartments, but it's yes.
What's the methodology you guys use to come up with the questions in the first place?
What is it?
What methodology did you guys use to come up with the questions in the first place?
First, it was just testing. We came up with a bunch of questions, and we tested A/B testing random questions, and then we associated with the data points we have in the neighborhood. And then, of course, as an AI, there's a feedback loop. So you track everything. You track after each question and what kind of results they click, how much time they spend on each listing, and then how many scheduled visits, and then if it results in a closed deal. So everything is tracked. Okay, that's customized search. Let's go to customer support. That's a second part. That's a huge part. I mean, every company has a customer support, whether it's a official department or not, right? Even if it's a potential client, even if it's a return client, whatever questions they have, whatever tasks you need to handle for them, basically doing customer support. Now, why AI is important in this one? I mean, I think 85 or around every 8 questions out of 10, it's pretty much standard. Every single potential client will ask the same 8 questions out of 10, and the same thing is for returning. So I mean, we can utilize the AI to answer repetitive questions, and with that, lowering the cost, making it more efficient, and so forth. This is the current issues. I mean, I've been in real estate for quite some time, testing and actually looking for apartments myself. And actually, if you think about it, you need an apartment, you go to Zillow, you go to other marketplaces, you like the apartment, you fill out the lead that they have, and then what happens? Nothing, right? You wait for the response, and then the response comes a couple of hours later, and even a day or a couple of days later. And then when the response comes, okay, you want to schedule a visit, I have no idea who you are, right? Because if I'm looking for apartments, I'm not just looking at one website, one property. I'm gonna apply, or I'm gonna fill out the lead forms on multiple properties. Who answers first? I will go with him, or I will schedule visits, you can show me more. But I need that relationship. So in real estate, there are two parts in customer support. I mean, people want information, they want answers to their questions, and they want it in a timely manner. And I know in real estate, property management firms and brokerage firms, they're very good in the first part, which is providing information. They will return your calls, they will return your text messages. But the second part is when. They're terribly bad with that. So, inconsistent and slow outsourcing is expensive. Big property management firms, they usually outsource their customer support. So whenever you call, it's outsourced company. Usually they charge around minimum $1.5 per call. That's very expensive to them, and that's why they want something that is more scalable and cost effective. And at the end, you waste so much marketing dollars. I mean, you do marketing, you want to get users on your site, you want the users to go to see your ad, right? You work so hard to do that, and then you fail actually once the user comes and inquires about the listing. That's not good business. So this is the current process. Everything, every single contact point that a website has, or on the ad platforms, live chat, call, contact form, will go to a customer support agent, and that agent is a human agent to resolve a problem, answer questions, and provide information. So this can be fine if you're an individual agent. But if you're Zillow, if you're Realtor.com, if you're Mill Creek, Alliance, the huge companies, how many human agent, how many inquiries can they handle? They will reply, but when? Once people are looking for apartments, you have to take advantage of that momentum. Don't let them leave the site. Don't let them leave the ad. You spend money to get them there, so get something out of them. And now we go into AI. So how AI can help here? All of these contact points will first go to AI agent. So is this apartment available? Can I smoke? Are pets allowed in this apartment? So first it will go to AI. AI, with the knowledge base that you put in, will be able to, it will figure out NLP, we talked about it, what questions is being asked, and determine, okay, this information will be, this information is needed to answer this question. And if it doesn't know, then we're gonna go to the human agent to resolve the issue. So the AI, as you will see a little bit later, will take care of enormous workload, and then have a few people to actually handle those tasks, those more complex tasks, and the issue will be resolved. Now we go to what AI customer support looks like. It's basically an assistant, 24/7. Here is to provide information, like I said, answer questions, schedule appointments. We can also integrate it with other tools, tech tools, to schedule appointments, and then give the information to the agents. And at the end of the day, again, get their information. Smart FAQ, every company has the FAQ page. They have information. They know that the customers, when they come to their site, when they see their business, everybody has questions, right? So they will have the frequently asked questions, and they will provide the answers to those questions. And now, if you apply AI to it, you can ask questions, right? However you like to voice chat, and then with using NLP, we can figure out what question is being asked and provide the answer that fits the question. So what does that mean? Simple solution, very user-friendly, and at the end, it's not only for a customer, because in real estate, agents always have to be updated with compliance, with regulatory issues, so they have questions. How they done it before, they would call headquarters and ask questions. Like Keller Williams, they have tens of thousands of agents. So if each agent calls, well, headquarters will be kind of pissed. So AI is very scalable, and it can provide those information in no time. Why is it better? Again, more than 85% of questions can be solved by AI.
Yeah,
So-
how many companies are using the AI agent?
The agent with us, we right now have currently around 480.
That's
So it's for customers and also for their internal agents. Roughly 8 out of 10 questions are always repetitive. Everybody asks the same amount. So why not give AI their responsibility? It's not hard. We don't need some fancy algorithms there. We don't need that data mining there. This is pretty simple stuff. It's very scalable and it's pretty cheap. Cost effective, scalable, and consistent, and then bottom line is it's efficient. The third way to use AI, lead generation, and this is more for online real estate marketplaces, Zillows, Realtor.coms, Apartments.coms, and so forth. But also, property manager firms and brokerage firms rely on leads too, because every closed deal at one point is a lead. So every business first has a lead to close a deal. And what we want to do here is we want to obtain more data points about the user than they currently do in a user-friendly way, which is very important. So if you look at, let's say, Zillow or Realtor.com, they have enormous amount of users, enormous. But the user growth is kind of stagnant. It's slowing down. They still have a huge user base. But now the question comes, how can they increase revenue per lead? This is their bread and butter. This is a static lead form. So all of those businesses are based on leads. And they haven't changed this lead form. I don't even know if they have changed it at all. So what is this? This is a static lead form that gathers name, email address, and maybe sometimes a phone number. If they have other lead fields, it's optional. So nobody will put in, the data for them, nobody puts in. What then let's say, more creative, more innovative online real estate marketplaces do, once they receive these leads, they hire concierge teams to follow up with them to get extra data points. So if you're Zillow, if you're Realtor.com, you have tens of millions of users each month, you have hundreds of thousands of leads. So how many concierge teams, how many human agents you need to actually follow up and gather extra data points to be able to sell the lead at a higher price? A lot. And again, they will follow up in a day or two. The momentum is gone. Who will give you extra data points? Why are you asking me questions? I already got an apartment or a home. So now we're going into AI. This is an example of how we did our experience. So AI, in this case, it's dynamic. It's not static like a lead form. You can add questions to it. You can ask, before even the conversation starts, you can ask for the name, email address, phone number. But that's an entry point to get to the conversation so you can obtain more data points. Those data points that human agents are asking after the lead right now currently is being captured. So with this is very easy to, this is like a game. This is gamified experience. How many bedrooms you need? What's your price range? What's your location? So all of this, agents and brokers pay a lot of money for that data, those data points. Maybe for us it looks, one bedroom, this is a price range, maybe that's nothing for us. But for agents and for the professionals that their business is dependent on leads, this is a gold mine. Whatever information, whatever extra information they can get, the closer they are in that closing the deal stage. So this is the experience once the AI is put on a live chat messenger. So live chat messenger meaning on the website, the little widget that pops out or is just there. This is what the conversion will be. So in our case, once the live messenger is there, put an AI on top of it, you will have 1 out of every 3 visitors will click on it. Once they click on it, they will fill out, they will fill out the name, email address to enter the chat because they think there's a human agent behind it, right? So they want to open. And once they put a name, email address, we capture the lead. Whatever data points, whatever question extra they ask, pow, those are the data points that we capture for that lead. And the static lead one, there was 4%. This one is 30%. And now, go to the chatbot platform. I mean, I'm most familiar with this one. How we can use all of these AI ways is to put it in chat, right? Because if you've seen, let's say from customer support, lead gen, and customized search, we always ask questions and we provide information. So, I mean, what is that? That's a conversation. So we can put it in a chatbot form, voice bot form. Right? So people ask questions, us, we provide information, we ask questions, they provide information. And how we can use the chatbot, these are the 2 ways that our clients are using us. It's on the widget on the website, so it's the same as the live messenger, it just there's no human agent behind it, it's a AI answering and asking questions. And then this is a big one for online real estate marketplaces, is to transform that static lead form into a chatbot. So basically, once the user comes to the site, it likes the listing, this is a current lead form on Realtor or Zillow, right? And everybody expected, okay, name, email address, contact the agent. So user experience doesn't change. But once they contact the agent, then the chatbot can ask more questions. And this is actually what their concierge teams are doing. They're just asking simple questions to make that lead more valuable so they can sell it at a higher price to their end client, which is an agent or a broker. And then the user experience at the end, that's on the widget. Once it's opened, again, we'll ask questions so we can gather immediately the contact info, and then we ask questions. I mean, these are the questions that we put in. They can customize themselves, and that's what they do. And then we go, it's what kind of experience the chatbot can have. Fully conversational. This is basically once they open it, it's how can I help you? They can write whatever they want. It doesn't have any guides, and then you have to determine, you have to have a lot of information, good NLP to figure out what they want and then give them that information. Or you can have routes. I mean, routes, if I go back, routes are like this, right? Rent, sell, those are routes. So the user doesn't have to think what they can do when they open the live messenger or chatbot. They can immediately, okay, I need to rent. Click rent. How many bedrooms? 2. It has to be very user-friendly and frictionless to get this information. Or mix of both. Of course, all of these routes, I mean, you can also type, I want to rent, I'm looking for a rental in Midtown and so forth, and it's all NLP based. And to kind of wrap it up, I don't know the time, the future of chatbots, I believe, I mean, as we've seen the interest, they will be everywhere. They will be everywhere. I mean, right now, if we look at banking, insurance, auto, of course, real estate, I mean, you don't know who you're talking to anymore. I mean, whether now it's voice or text, still, I mean, there are some, you know, do you have peanut butter sandwiches? You know, a chatbot might give you kind of a weird answer, or if it's a voice bot. But as people use it, as we continually getting more and more data, the experience will be much and much, it will be stronger, and chatbots, voice bots, will be able to handle more complex tasks as we move forward. And right now, I mean, because we have interest from these three industries, that's the next step that we're going into. And I think I'm good with time. This is to wrap it up. I don't know if you have any questions. Let's make it possible.
Yeah, where do you see the industry going in terms of lead generation? Because you know that traditionally it's always been like cold calling, and face cards, and just this is just sold. For a listing agent, how do you see AI changing the whole?
Well, it depends actually where do they get leads. I mean, if they're getting from marketplaces, again, the key is to know more about the user. So Zillow, like SEO and the entire search engine is dominated by a few players, and those are the online real estate marketplaces. So if you need to look for apartment or house, you will go there. The key is, how can an agent know more about the user and have more data points so I don't have to ask you that, I already know. Hey John, you're looking for this is this, I have a properties for you, this is the properties. So I mean, AI will be a first or initial contact with potential clients. And this is actually what the stage is with the AI. And then we can combine lead gen with the customized search. We're already doing that, so you can provide the properties right away, and then they can schedule appointments, and then actually the agent is at that end and the final point in the transaction to show the properties.
So you're saying that the chatbot is mainly adopted at a portal, like a Zillow, or I mean, like, how does this help, for example, the Keller Williams or some of the other groups who are operating as individual brokers rather than depending on Zillow and spending a significant amount of money in marketing with these big corporations? Because you know, you've probably heard about the anti-Zillow movement and all that, and so the industry is going through a rapid change, it's increasing velocity, and the competition is becoming a lot more fierce. So do you envisage that, you know, brokers going and doing like Facebook ads or reaching out directly to clients through these chatbots or Facebook Messenger? Like, how do you see that happening?
I mean, although it's an anti-Zillow movement, it's very hard to actually compete with them because they completely dominate SEO. So the apartment search or property search not always, but it starts on the search engine. When we're talking about Facebook ads and social media, or let's say Craigslist, yes, agents are advertising there as well. The quality of leads is not as high as on marketplaces, and that's why we also give the opportunity for agents to create and deploy chatbots on SMS. So once they advertise, let's say on Craigslist, they put text us at this number. Once you text us, the AI, the chatbot will actually take over the initial contact. So it's not solely for the marketplaces. Wherever users are, whatever channel online they are, or on the phone, we can utilize the AI to take care of that initial contact, and also to give the instantaneous feedback and respond to the user once they inquire.
So essentially, if you have someone go directly to Keller Williams website, so same chatbot can be leveraged right there.
Exactly the same. Exactly the same.
So essentially, they can cut down on their agents and they can be more efficient.
It is, because every agent has a website, and I mean, we're working also with some individual agents. I mean, they can sign up and they can have it right away, but they don't have traffic. I mean, that's a bottom line. I mean,
yeah,
it's
if you see much, you have a look at the competition. You look at how much traffic Zillow is getting. I mean, the amount of traffic they have just completely stomps over. Even like the biggest websites you see in the real estate industry, like go to any broker's website, you put it in SEMrush and then have a look and see Zillow. There's just no comparison.
No.
There's absolutely no comparison.
It
To
is.
the amount of traffic that they get.
It is.
So if AI is going to help kind of increase the revenues or kind of reduce the cost, do you think at some point of time this huge margin of 6% that is charged to the sellers would that change? Like, or is it like kind of that part is?
I think it will change.
It's already changing.
It's already
Redfin,
there.
Redfin is like charging what, 1% or something?
It is.
My
The-
house
the-
9 years back, about 3%.
Oh.
I mean, it's going towards, let's say, stock trade, right? In finance. First, you only had those stockbrokers; they can charge whatever they want. Now you have stock trade, E-Trade, or whatever, and then people make decisions. I know what I want to buy, and you buy it, and I mean, charge 3% or somebody just to do the paperwork. So I mean, definitely we're seeing the trend of those discount brokers popping up.
With the lead generation, definitely the brokers can get more data, but then what's stopping us from taking that data, actually automatically searching through the inventory and reducing the role of the broker entirely in this whole process?
It is depends on which one, a marketplace or
Yeah, so for example, as a user, I want to buy a 2-bedroom somewhere, right? I work with the chatbot, I give it the data, and chatbot at some point already has an inventory on the back end, which I think Zillow, Kljaic, those guys already have. It can automatically match with the inventory and give you a recommendation, cutting out the broker entirely in the process.
it is, but then you have like who's the customer to Zillow? Because they're always talking about will Zillow become a broker? Right now, I mean, their bread and butter are agents and agent fees. So if they cut the agent, then they kind of bite their ass. I mean,
And I think experience of Zillow with their marketplace solutions for homes. They're largely on in many areas, so they are defined.
Yeah, they've been sued multiple times.
Yes, multiple.
Sentiment, right?
Yeah, investment also because they're using images, which is basically copyrighted by the PhDs and all
That's the
Um,
Kljaic competition. It's $1 million prize money if you increase their estimate.
that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I
You guys
actually
bring
entered
that
it.
to
There's a competition for that.
Yeah.
There's a,
It's a Kaggle competition.
yeah, the Kaggle comp. Yeah.
So in terms of scope creep, I mean, with this, with the chatbot especially, I saw the buy, sell, rent. Are you interested in flipping that at all and saying looking for renters? So it's sort of yeah, let's leave it there.
I mean, like advertising or.
So instead of going on there and saying, hey, I'd like to sell my house, hey, I'd like to rent my house out to somebody, are you tied into that kind of market?
I mean, we can, because what we are, we're a platform. We provide technology for those companies to construct the conversation flow, you know, to do the user experience and whatnot. We don't do that. I mean, so they can construct that as well. So they can choose what kind of conversation flow they want and what are actually they need. So they can do that, of course. And that's why, I mean, let's say for the banking, for other industries, it's the same gameplay, right? We provide the technology, the back end, and then they do everything on the front end. They have our APIs, so I mean, they can do whatever they want.
At what point do you swap in a real person? Like, you know, as you're typing away, you may realize that the chatbot doesn't have enough AI behind it to satisfy you quickly. So you got to swap it out with a real person. So is it like a seamless transition?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, because whenever question cannot be answered, right? We know that it's like on a backend. I'm sorry, I cannot understand it. We can just put that answer as a notification to the agent. So an agent can automatically be notified via SMS or email to like, hey, jump in.
Okay,
So
you
they
give
can
them the
be-
option to
Yes,
jump in and
yes.
administer.
Yes, because I mean, on us, I mean, a chatbot is placed on top of the live messenger, right? So I mean, they can always turn off the bot and take over, and it's a regular messenger. So that's why if some answer or task cannot be handled, we can notify the whatever representative or agent we have or company tells us, and okay, jump in, or you know. Yes.
Kind of related to that question, is the chatbot system fully automated? Does it generate all the text kind of on fly, or what kinds of content and design processes do you have to go through to make sure that the user experience makes sense, the responses make sense?
Yeah, it's completely automated. I mean, whatever the answers to questions are, it's immediately grabbed and put in a lead structure. so we know, let's say for the, for a number of rooms, it has to be a number, whether it's an actual number or words, right? If it's not a number, it will not be captured. So we're going to ask again. So we have done that in the back end, and for us, the leads are very important. So whatever you ask for, you want to have it in a structured lead. Why? Because if you're looking at a large amount of users and a lot of data, you cannot go through every single conversation and see, okay, he wanted this. No, you want to see it in a structural lead form, and then just you can connect it with your CRM system. You can print it out or whatever, so you have a structured leads to follow up.
So you got a learning system in the background? Or you got a neural net or something running in the?
What is it?
You got a neural net or something running in the back end to
Yes.
do the auto learning, or is it like a manual sort of process?
We have kind of both. We have both.
So
we
it's
have
like
our-
a rules-based engine combined
Yeah.
with something else.
Yes. It's still in the process, in the beginning, so we have to respect it.
Yeah, do you leverage like a cloud provider, like Amazon Lex or anything like that? Or did you do your own?
We do our own.
Yeah.
We do. That's why we want to own the entire platform. To have a control over the entire platform. Is it good or bad? In the beginning, it's always more complex and more tests, and you need a lot of data. But at the end, we believe it's going to be worth it. So
Yeah, I heard that they're coming out with some sort of bot marketplace. I don't know. I heard somewhere.
they always have.
Specialized marketplaces for certain industry segments. Like you can go there if you're a doctor, you can buy a bot for that specific area. Like real estate, it could be a different kind of bot because each one has its own learning algorithm, its own model behind it. So I think
It is, but also, what we learn is, one bot cannot fit everybody. Whether it can be in real estate, it can be in property management, the sector, it cannot fit. Because every company has its own brand, it has its own style of talking. So that's why we provide the technology, and you can create your own conversation. You can put in how you want it to ask or how you want to answer. So that's why these kind of bots for certain industries. It's fine if you're, let's say, an individual agent in insurance and real estate, so you don't really mind the style of talking and whatnot. You don't have a brand, but for these larger companies, they really take care of their own names. So that's why we allow them to customize however they want.